Okay, I have a rant. The news is on in the background. I have it on super low. I'm going to try to talk fast. Everybody's getting stupider, including me. I'm including myself. However, here's the problem. Okay, so when I was a kid growing up, I tried to do good in school. And so I kept getting put in the class with the kids who were supposed to go to college and things like that. So I was very self-conscious about the idea that I was trying to be better than other people. You get that up here in Massachusetts, surrounded by mass holes, or trying to act white as it is. So growing up, I never ever, and being conceited, you'd be flattened in the road. The whole town would come and stab you in the head and roll over you with all their cars if you were confident, because in any way, shape, or form, because that meant you were conceited, and that was like the worst thing a person could be. Like, you could be a cannibal, you could be, you know, a serial killer, but it's worse to be conceited. So I, you know, as a kid who was supposed to go to school, was in the top class or whatever, I really was very aware of the fact that I could be murdered if I went around acting like a know-it-all, which Sagittarius is supposed to act like know-it-alls anyway. I didn't think I was. If I volunteer information, that's because I would like people to volunteer me information, because I don't like to go around stupid. So, but I grew up very much conscious of not trying to be better than other people, not trying to act superior, and all that stuff. Fine, whatever. It's different when you're in class with your friends and they're all supposed to be smart too, and when you're around everybody else. So once I came back home, once I wasn't in New York anymore, I had to readjust back to the old way of, you know, watching your mouth and not getting punched for saying an SAT word or anything. But yeah, but I don't think anybody's smart. I didn't think anybody was smarter than anybody else, or anybody had more brain power or whatever. You know, I don't know about aptitude tests or IQ tests or why people score higher than others. I don't know. But I just figured, you know, I was very conscious of that and really felt like, no, I don't really think some people are smarter than other people. Then I turned 35. And when I turned 35, all of a sudden I seemed a lot smarter than I had been. I was going to public meetings and stuff, and the people at the public meetings were like running the town. They would get up and act like it was the 6th grade, and they couldn't talk in front of other people. And then when they would speak, they didn't sound very articulate and things like that. And I was sitting there one day, I'm like, wait a minute. Am I smarter than other people? So right around 35, all of a sudden it felt like all the information I'd taken in was like downloading a bunch of programs, and they were just downloaded. But at 35, they all ran. So all of a sudden it was like I was way smarter than I was when I was 34. I don't know how that works. So then life goes on, fine, whatever. So I was smarter than myself previously. I felt way smarter than I had been, whether I was smarter than other people or not. So over time, not just recently, but it got harder and harder and harder for me to deal with other people. I didn't want to have the conversations they wanted to have. I didn't want to be what I now see a lot of people call low vibrational, whatever. I didn't want to gossip. I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I wanted to talk about the whole world out there, not just, you know, the weather and, you know, local stuff or people and things. You know what I mean? I wanted to have my mind on bigger ideas and stuff. And over time, it got harder and harder. Well, I wasn't having those conversations. And it got harder and harder to even find people to have something of a conversation with, because people were just like bogged down with their own lives and nobody was thinking of bigger topics or whatever. So fine. So I just was like, you know, cool with everything. So pandemic comes and I'm isolated. And I'm really choosing what's going in my head. And I'm kind of almost not talking to anybody. And then we've seen with the celebrities, and it's started to become obvious how stupid celebrities are. And these were the people I just used to like to go to their movies. I didn't want to hear their politics. I didn't want to tell them my politics. But we know what we all just went through. Okay? So there's that. And, you know. But now what seems to have happened to me is now I really, really am having a hard time with people being a certain way. I don't even know what to call it, but let's just jump ahead to right now. So this week's been a bad week for me. And they're going to get worse. And I've complained very much about not being of this planet or wanting to be on this planet and not understanding why I'm still here, because either I aged out or something. I just feel like, forget about having a conversation. I feel like my brain is not, I can think some things the same as this one over here and that one over there, and I can find other people with YouTube videos who I can enjoy watching them do reactions or talk about stuff in the world or talk about, you know, movie business or whatever. But at some point they say things that's just like, if I was going to pick BFFs, I couldn't be BFFs with these people. So I feel solitary. I feel like I need to be solitary. Doesn't mean I can't be around other people. It's just whatever. So, but for 20 years being home, instead of having film buff friends around me, I would talk about movies online, and I would talk to people, like I said, about the Oscar race. Now, obviously, Oscar race people think they're much fancier than people talking about the blockbusters and stuff like that. However, let's go back 15 years. When I would talk to people about the movie that was going to win the Oscar, or I would talk to people about the big blockbuster that was coming out, everybody seemed intelligent. Everybody had a brain. It was just like, what kind of movies do you like? And most of us liked all of them. The same people I talked to about, I don't know, The Dark Knight, I was talking to about what was going to win the Oscars. There wasn't all this separateness. And I guess we were all around the same age. And maybe it's the younger kids coming in with their different ways. I don't know what it is, but this year's the first year where they really got, like I said, they got Oscar movies that don't belong there. They're finally doing the popular movies, but this year the popular movies aren't good enough. In the years past, when the popular movies were great and I wanted them nominated, they weren't getting nominated because they weren't Oscar bait. This year, maybe because they're trying to save the Oscars, maybe because they're trying to save Hollywood, or maybe because it was just a piss poor year, they've got a lot of popular movies in there. And I said already, Top Gun Maverick is not a good movie. I can't help it. So the more I hear people who were argued with me years ago about, well, this is this and this movie is so much more important and better than, you know, that Marvel movie, or, you know, like, I wanted Chris Hemsworth nominated for Fat Thor. You know what I mean? His arc on Infinity War and Endgame was the best. Other people wanted Robert Downey Jr. nominated, right? But these are superhero movies, and people don't think that way. Now, people are like, oh, Tom Cruise should have been nominated for Top Gun Maverick. Tom Cruise has been nominated, and there are times he should have been nominated that he wasn't, but not for that, because it wasn't a good movie. And I'm sitting there, and I'm watching all these YouTube channels talking about the movie business and all this junk. And I'm just like, as the weeks and days and months are going by, it's getting more depressing and more depressing and more depressing. Like I said, I went to see Knock at the Cabin. To me, it was very basic. And I'm not trying to pick on M. Night Shyamalan, because clearly smarter than me by a lot. But I don't know. It was underwhelming, to say the least. It didn't have smudges on it. It didn't run backwards. You know, the acting wasn't bad. It was pretty good. You know, it was a solid 7.5 or an 8 if you want to do that. But I'm always looking. I mean, I always have 10s. I have a lot of 10s. Now, the past year, the only 10 I have is a hot mess of a movie. Not the only one. I liked Amsterdam. Nobody liked it. I loved 3,000 Years of Longing. That had some iffy parts in it. It was just something I love a lot. So, if I was being objective, not a 10. I loved Thor: Love and Thunder. Hot mess of a movie. Love it, because I love hot messes. But I understand that if we're objectively speaking, these are the kind of things should be nominated for Best Picture. No. But there are other fancy pants movies that could be in there. And I will accept that. But I can't abide this bullshit. And this is the stupidity that's getting to me, because it's a bullshit stupidity. Where people are all as far as I'm concerned, people are locked arms lying that movies are better than they are, or this is what I spend my time on, because I'm trying to ignore the shitty world that I live in. I'm trying to raise my vibration, which is not working, by keeping my mind on things I like, which I'm not able to do that anymore because everybody's lying all day long. So I feel like everybody's lying about how great Top Gun Maverick is, because everybody wants a popular movie to win the Oscar because they want to save the Oscars and they want to save the theater experience. And they're going to act like, Avatar 2. I don't know if it's the second coming or not, but everybody's acting like these things are like curing cancer. And I don't know why everybody's so incredibly full of shit. Now, people have been liars all along. Not me. But there's like this overwhelming fakery and falseness and community bullshit. And I know COVID happened and the lockdowns happened and made us all stupid, and whatever anxiety, depression, or whatever anybody had got a million times worse because of the lockdowns, I believe. Because everybody was forced to stay home. Most people were forced to stay home. Some people in Hollywood, their lives went on like nothing happened. But what gets me is this something has gone wrong in this pandemic time, where a lot of people are really freaking stupid. And there's long COVID, there's COVID. I believe I think I had COVID a few times. I didn't do the test because I don't want to stick anything up my nose. You stick stuff up your nose, then the germs are on the test. It goes in your brain. There's no stomach acid to kill germs. Goes right to your head. You're deceased. But I think everybody's stupid. But a lot of people seem to be freaking out of it. I'm slow sometimes. I always want to sleep now, but I grasp for words. This is the progression of my old age. I've talked about it many times, but the kind of stupid I'm talking about is like, I just want to say to people, what are you on? What are you talking about? Are you serious? Why are you just making shit up? Okay, so that's all this stuff about these movies, like even Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was fine. To me, it was flawed. I get attacked for saying it was flawed. It was flawed. It was a flawed movie. In a normal year, it could have got spot number 10 for Oscar. It's almost like spot number 1. Okay, because it's that or Top Gun Maverick. You understand what I'm saying? Banshees of Inisherin was what they want. So even though I may have thought it wasn't, I didn't really think the end was that great. If that one, I'd be like, that's the kind of thing, not just it's Oscar bait, but the quality of it, the actors in it, their acting, you know what I mean? It's an original story. That sort of thing is in there. There's other movies that could have been there that aren't nominated. Fine, whatever. But, so, this is something consistently, I have talked about movies, whether I was talking to people in real life back in the 90s, or talking to people online with people who were real film buffs for the last 20 years, where all of a sudden, people are talking out of their ass. People are blowing smoke up the ass of these movies that are just not great. People are, like I said, I'm blaming younger people because maybe they don't see that many movies. They're just tripping balls and acting so enthusiastic about garbage or stuff that's derivative to a degree that they know it's derivative. Like, say somebody ripped off a movie. Say somebody went and made a movie and it was a rip-off of some movie from the 70s or the 80s or the 90s. And then kids who weren't born in the 90s said, oh my god, that's the most amazing movie I've ever seen. I don't understand that. You don't know that this is just copying something else. You don't know that even though it's copying, it's like not even half as good as the original. This is like these kids, and I'm blaming the kids, but it's not just the kids, and that's where it gets me. But they get really enthusiastic over shit that's copying shit they saw last year. So like, say a movie is coming up, and it's got a big thing in it, like a big action sequence in it, and the action sequence looks like something you just saw in Mission Impossible, the last Mission Impossible. I don't even know which one was the last one. Was there one after the Henry Cavill one? I don't know. But even in Mission Impossible, it's not new, because all the Mission Impossibles copy the Mission Impossible before. So this is what I'm saying. It's this thing that's... I got nothing wrong with movies that are, you know, reminiscent of something else or whatever. I'm going to stop this for a minute, just in case. Okay, I've got no problem with inspired by. I've got no problem with reimaginings. I've said all this stuff before. But what's happening right now is that these movies, like I'm saying, they're copying last year. So, and I hate to do this, but so like I said, this is Wick Week, and I got underwhelmed, and I was sitting there, and the people are asking Keanu Reeves questions. Like I said, the stupidest questions in the world. What's it like working with Lawrence Fishburne again? Not only did somebody have to ask that question, they had to pick that question for him to ask. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, because what's he going to say? Oh, you know what? I worked with Lawrence Fishburne a bunch of times, but this time it sucked and I decided I don't like him. Fuck that guy. No, that's not what he's going to say. You asked the question already knowing what his answer is going to be. He's just something about, oh, he's great and he's amazing and he's the best guy ever. Some bullshit like that, because they're friends and he said it a million times before. So why ask the question? This is what I'm saying. And I'm not, whoever the person is, I'm sorry. But all three questions were like that. And they only picked three, and they picked three stupid ones. And I saw the questions people were putting on Twitter. My question sucked. I didn't want them to pick it, but people had good questions. So what's getting to me is this. Let's do the same thing we did last year. Let's do the same thing we did 2 years ago. Let's act like it's brand new. Let's all act really happy. Let's all act really impressed. Let's all act. Acting is fake, and it's great when you're watching a movie and actors are acting, but when regular people are acting and everybody's lying and everybody's overstating things and everybody's being full of shit, what's the point? If you can't say something new, if you can't have your own idea, why bother? Why not just lay down? Why say, I'm going to say what everybody else says, I'm going to think what everybody else thinks, I'm going to, you know, ask a question I already know the answer to because I've heard them answer that 1,000 times before. Why are we doing this? So, again, a trailer comes out, people react to them. There were a bunch of trailers on Super Bowl. I did a couple. I missed the other ones because I'm half out of it. This is what I'm saying. I'm stupid too. I just went to the grocery store, forgot to bring a bag. You know they don't give you bags anymore unless it's a paper bag. And I come out, it's drizzling. I was only supposed to buy butter, so it's supposed to be no big deal. I bought a bunch of freaking cans of tuna fish, bought all kinds of stuff, bought a water, everything. And I got a brown bag. So I'm putting cans of tuna fish in my pockets and stuff because now the bag's going to get wet. I got to take the bus. I'm like, how stupid are you? So see, I'm stupid too. I don't learn lessons. I can't plan ahead anymore. That's the kind of stupid I have. But I'll be damned if I'm going to watch a trailer for a movie that's got shit in it that looks just like another one and act like it's Second Coming. I complained about people and the stupid pencil trick from The Dark Knight that they like, oh, John Wick killed somebody with a pencil. I don't mind that he killed somebody with a pencil. I minded that everybody who watched, including nerds of my variety, of my age, who all watched The Dark Knight 100 times, acted really impressed with something they'd seen before and acted like it was brand new. You want to say, oh my god, I love it so much, it was just like it when the Joker did it? Great. But when you act like, oh wow, woo, ah, I'm so freaking amazed, this is the shit I can't stand. So, again, so the John Wick 4 trailer comes out. And I looked at it, I was like, well, there was nothing in it. It was only 90 seconds. The other one was great. I guess they don't want to put too much in it, but if the movie's supposed to be almost 3 hours, which I'm fine with if I'm alive and I can see it, I hope I die. But if I make it to then and I'm able to go to the theater, I got no problem with that time frame. I love long movies. There were older ones that were long. But Lord of the Rings, I had a plan, you know. I didn't drink anything a couple hours before. You know what I mean? I worked it out. And I'll work it out again. And if you have to go to the bathroom, big crisis, so what? But, so I got no issue with this. So I'm watching everybody react to the trailer. And we know there are those people. We know there's people called shills. But, again, with Lawrence Fishburne, I don't mind anybody, like, say somebody's not seen one John Wick movie, and they watch the trailer for this fourth one, and they only watched this trailer that came out yesterday, and they go, oh wow, Matrix reunion, when they see him and Lawrence Fishburne. That's fine. It's fine. But when a lot of people say it, and some of these people swear that up and down that they're big fans of the John Wick movies, and, it's just, okay, that's fine, whatever. But then there are these people who, I don't know what, I've said it before, they watch a trailer, and it's like, oh my god, what, huh, wow, for everything, really, everything. I mean, there are people who like to fake it in this world. I know. There are people who like to fake enthusiasm in certain activities. Do the people who are with those people, do they enjoy knowing that the people are faking their enthusiasm? Are they happy about that? I don't know. So I just sit there and I'm watching these people overreact, be crazy, be ridiculous, not know what they're talking about, and I'm just like, I can't anymore. I can't, because there was a point in time where I, as a film fan, I was able to converse with others, even if it was like Star Wars prequels or something. You talk to people and people weren't acting stupid. But all I see is stupid. Like, there's real life stupid, and then like in this part that I'm supposed to enjoy, there's stupid. And I'm just like, and the movies I've seen lately, the ones that are actually entertaining, people kind of hate, or they're different, or whatever. People don't appreciate the craftsmanship. I don't even know what these people like anymore when they're watching a movie. Because, like I said, I should actually, the 2022 movies, I'm gonna do them backwards here in a second. I'm gonna say the order I like them in, just so you can see how different I am from everybody else. Alright, now, I may have forgotten to update this, but towards the, I don't know, I had seen about 18 movies from last year when I did this list. So what I've always done on my LJ is I put the worst movie first. So I count them backwards, right? So the worst movie I saw last year was The Batman, in my opinion. Then The Menu. A lot of people think these two movies are great, maybe even the best of the year. Then Uncharted. Then The Northman. Then Top Gun Maverick. Now see, this is still the bottom of my list. I liked Memory. It looked cheap. There was a lot going on that was like really cheap looking, but still was better. The Banshees of Inisherin, Barbarian, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Morbius. Now see, I like Morbius better than all of those. And I'm not supposed to, because it's supposed to suck, right? Okay. Wakanda Forever. This is getting into the top ones now. Wakanda Forever, I thought was great. Don't Worry Darling was excellent. That's the kind of movie, if that was in Best Picture, I'd be like, yeah, it belongs there, because she did a great job directing it and everything. Nope was great. Also not nominated. Moonfall I liked. It was goofy as hell, but I really liked it. Thor Love and Thunder, again, goofy, wacky. I loved it. Bullet Train, probably should bring it down a little bit, because on second watch at home, I didn't like it as much as I did before, but I liked it a lot. 3,000 Years of Longing. And Amsterdam. So Amsterdam was my favorite movie from last year. But see, this is what I'm saying. So whatever other, oh, Batman, the Batman was amazing. Oh, Top Gun Maverick, blah blah blah. So that's what I'm saying. I understand that I'm different, but I'm still looking at quality, and you can have your favorites. There's favorites, and then there's quality. And the Oscars and stuff like that is not supposed to be about favorites. When people talk about a movie being amazing, or they really go on and on about it, they're not acting like it's their opinion, you know? So, I'm looking at this Wick Week. I'm looking at all this stuff. I already said it reminded me of, like, Dick Tracy and, you know, like, the first Batman, Tim Burton Batman. That kind of, PR campaign, which was actually kind of aimed at kids, where it looked like trading cards, not trading cards, but there was some posters. It was like one interview. I was expecting a lot of interviews, so that's why I was kind of like underwhelmed. And then, like I said, this little clip with Keanu answering the stupid questions people asked, and there's a little clip of them doing the car stunts, and I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, I like the John Wick movies. I understand there's been some car business in it. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, are they just trying to compete with the Fast and the Furious movies? Because A, I don't watch those. B, when I saw that thing in Paris near the Arc de Triomphe or whatever it is, I think that's where it was. I was like, wasn't that just in the Mission Impossible? So I'm like sitting there going, I think it's going to be a good movie. I think there's going to be stuff in it, but I'm just getting underwhelmed with everything. I've been disappointed by a lot of stuff I was looking forward to. And I'm just like, and I'm watching all these reaction videos to that trailer. The other trailer was amazing. The one from before, which was much longer, which is kind of backwards. But I was expecting a huge trailer with a bunch of stuff in it yesterday. And it was this instead. And I'm like, okay. But I'm just like, is it me? Am I not understanding that it is just supposed to be more action and a higher death count? Is it me? Am I expecting things I shouldn't expect? You know what I mean? And is that why I'm a crunchy old lady with a bad attitude who's just fed up with everything because Get Off My Lawn and the good old days and all that crap? I mean, I knew I was like 10 years ago, I was yelling, get off my lawn. But I thought there were other people saying, get off my lawn with me. Now everybody's like, oh no, let's all, Kevin Costner, a little while ago, Kevin Costner tweeted that he got a TikTok. And I was just like, what? I think of that as kids. It's why I'm like, my brain's leaking out of my ears. I feel like, am I the only old person left? Am I the only person who remembers that, you know, sometimes you're supposed to objectively judge things? Am I the only person who doesn't fake everything? Am I the only person who's going to just talk everything up until every single word out of everybody's mouth is bullshit? Nothing's great if everything's great. Nothing's amazing if everything's amazing. Okay? If I don't know. I just feel kind of like, I know I've been out of step with the rest of the world. I've been saying that. But as the days and weeks go on, it's just like, how? Why is everything so dumb? Why is everything such bullshit? There's no way these people think they're being genuine when they say the thing. They have to all know they're overstating things, hyperbole, just, you know, being phony, and so people will like them. Oh my God, I think it's so amazing. You know, do you want to hear that? I mean, if you're making something and everybody's just like, oh my God, it's so amazing. Matrix reunion, oh my God. I mean, do you really want to hear the same bullshit over and over and over again? Is that what you want? You just want people to tell you how amazing that shit is? Even if it's not shit, do you just want to hear stuff that's way... Oh my God, I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Oh my God. What? I just feel, I mean, everybody's always been liars. There's always been fakery. There's always been bullshit. There's always been PR. That's the thing. I've been aware of all this stuff for years. It's never been like this. The news has been a lot. All 2022, the news was flat out lies. Everything that comes on the news is just lies and stupid stories to distract you from what's really going on, which the news has always been, but there was no truth in it. I mean, every once in a while they slip something in, but the news stories are like, who cares? Who cares about the Markles? Who cares about half of this shit? All the stuff they're talking about is like, you know, it's all a narrative now, and the narrative isn't a good narrative because it's so fake and phony. And everybody, you have to be stupid to believe it, and I don't think anybody believes it. But everybody's like, let's all tell lies to each other so we can be happy instead of telling the truth, which is very sad right now. So let's act like this movie is like the most amazing thing that ever happened. We'll act like we've never seen a movie before. We'll ask questions that we know are going to get a really basic response that we've heard before, because yay, we don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to ask any questions that might upset somebody. We don't want to ask a tricky question. We don't want to do spoilers. I know, let me ask the most generic question in the world, and then when they come and let's pick the most generic questions in the world, and then everybody will be so happy, because regular and mediocre and normal and C plus or C minus or C, let's be so average and repetitive and derivative that nobody can be offended, but nobody can be happy, and nobody can be a failure, and everybody will just be at equilibrium. Let's all take all the pills so we cannot be depressed and we cannot have anxiety, and let's all just pretend everything's gonna be okay, and let's pretend everything is awesome. Wasn't that the point of that movie? Wasn't that the point of it? To not be like everything else, to not just go along and say everything is awesome. That movie's not that old, but everybody's decided to just live that out, and let's all be just, I don't know, I'm watching people that I've been watching their reactions for a long time, and I know they're smarter than to be I don't know how to say it without being rude. To not be basically peeing themselves over a bag of nothing. And if you give me a bag of nothing, I'm gonna be like, this is, or a bag of rocks, I'm gonna be like, this is a bag of rocks. Where's my Halloween candy? Where's my Reese cups? You promised me candy. There's only rocks. What a fool I was. I don't know what to say. I don't say anything to these people because I'm like, I'm just looking at everybody, whether I'm looking at them in real life or not, I'm just looking at everybody in disbelief. Like, are you serious? You think this thing that you've seen like 5 times in the last 2 years is amazing? You think this thing that looks just like that other thing is freaking brilliant, and you're just gonna pass out, and you know, you sound like you're in a porno movie over there because why? I don't know. You want people to like you? This is what I'm saying. I don't belong here. It's just completely against my nature to do anything just so people will like me. But this isn't even that anymore. This is like, I almost wonder, do people not know? Have they forgotten? Is this long COVID and everybody's stupid now? Because nobody's brains work. The COVID ate everybody's brains. And everybody really thinks things that aren't brilliant are brilliant. I don't care if it's enjoyable, but just don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. I'm not gonna say with you that it's raining and oh my god, it's the most awesome rain ever. I've never even seen rain before. Oh my god. That's what I feel like I'm dealing with. And it's like, I couldn't feel more alienated. I couldn't feel more like, what planet am I on? How did I get here? Because whether I liked the planet or not before, it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this before the pandemic. People sucked and people were liars and they were phonies. But this is like a collective delusion. And sometimes I really go, do people not know? Are they are they aware? And it's freaking me out. And every day, I just don't know why I'm here. And I'm just like, what is happening? It's all phony. Everything is freaking... NutraSweet doesn't exist anymore. What is it? Stevia? I mean, it's artificial. Everything is artifice. I'm saying that, and I'm looking at this. I don't think my face got crooked, but it's like only this side comes out now, or looks like I only have it on this side, cause that tooth is lower. But that's fake too, and I did not want to be fake. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be fake. So why do I have to keep being here if fake is the answer and fake is the future? And whether it's AI or robots or Fast and Furious remakes that have a different title, I don't know. But I don't know. I'm just disgusted. I'm gonna say it plain. I'm disgusted with everything, and people are just making me want to puke. And there's nothing real anymore, and it's sad. I've aged out. I'm too fucking old. Maybe even though I'm not 50 yet, maybe deep down I'm 100 years old. I don't know, but I couldn't feel more. On many different levels, I don't belong here. I don't belong here as a fan. I don't belong here as a human. I don't belong here as I don't know what. What else am I? Nothing, really. A consumer of other people should be having this air and water, not me. I'm seeing myself as a waste of space, and I'm not asking to be this space anymore, because there's no fun in it. There's no happiness in it. I don't have a purpose, and I can't distract myself with the fun I used to distract myself with. So I just have to sit here and be pissed and hate everybody's guts. I think everybody's stupid. Why? Why am I here? Why? You know how often these people, these news women, are mispronouncing things, or they're trying to pretend. Like she was talking about Bruce Willis before. She's like, we're all pulling for him. You don't pull for somebody who has a wasting disease. You pull for somebody who's going through a surgery or something where they've got to pull through a sickness right now that's happening right now. You can pull for somebody even with cancer, but or the stage 4 cancer, but people just say things now, and they don't. I'm watching people like Congress people, and they're using words incorrectly. It's like, if you don't, I remember being a kid in school, and it was like, if you don't know the word, don't use it. If you don't know how to use the word, don't use it. So many people just use words, and they have no idea what they're saying, and it's not their second language. These people don't speak English, but English is their first language. Don't use words if you don't know how to use them. It drives me. This is what I'm saying. It's just all day long. I'm watching people mispronounce and do stupid things, and old actors get a TikTok. What the hell is? I feel like I'm in the final frame of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I feel like I'm the only one left, and everybody else got body snatched. That I honestly feel like it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And every time I think I'm gonna see somebody who's one of me, they're one of them, and it's all fake bullshit, and they're pod people. That's what I feel like. I feel like everybody else is a pod person, and I'm the only one left. I would just like somebody else to tell the truth. Somebody else say something sucks. Somebody else You know what? You dislike me, dislike me. You dislike my favorite movie, go right ahead. I want somebody to say something sucks. I want somebody to say something shitty. I want somebody else to say they were disappointed. But not the thing that everybody else is disappointed with. Not the thing that Rotten Tomatoes says. Not the thing that's part of the narrative. I want to hear an honest fucking opinion that isn't like anybody else's. I want to hear an honest reaction. I'm tired of being alone. Not alone, just alone in the whole world. Not alone in the room. Not alone, I don't have family. Just alone in a world where I really feel like the only one who's not a pod person. It's crazy. I really feel like that. I really, really feel like that.